Good evening and welcome to School of Management, Bennett University's first ever podcast series. I am your host JK and you're watching Business Unplugged, a podcast where we bring you fresh insights, groundbreaking innovation and impactful conversation. Stay tuned as we decode the world of business one episode at a time. And here we are today with Mr. Shyamal Datta, Head of Product, Indian Express. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us in. So, would you like to introduce a bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi. I'm working with the Indian Express for last 4 years now, and I'm working as head of product of the digital wing. In media, I have spent around 10 years in product management. Prior to that, I worked with Snapdeal, Magic Bricks, and FirstCry in various roles. And before doing MBA, I worked also as a software developer with IBM and Tata Group for close to 3 years. Yeah.
So, it's really good to hear from you, sir. So, talking about product management, as we're going to discuss about it today, it is a field that comprises of everything beginning from developing and managing and execution. So, and for our generation, we perceive it as a field which is comparatively lucrative as well as easy. So, what are your perceptions in it? Like, if you would like to brief about product management as a whole.
So I think you brought very two relevant points, lucrative and easy. So there is a certain sexiness about product management profile, I'm hearing a lot. But to be very honest, the role of a product manager is far from being easy. Because, you must have read in some cases that it's a function of arts and science, right, that will balance both the sides, right? I would also add one more point, commerce. Because the role of any good product manager is to build a product which can be monetized. If the product cannot be monetized, then it cannot be sustained. So I always think that a good product will satisfy user needs, which is definitely a science and arts, while at the same time it has to also bring revenue or generate revenue. That's the whole of product management for my part. And the question that you asked, that what all do product managers do? So I would think that, there are two types of products. One is that is already existing in market or it has been launched. So you're not creating the product, but you're trying to make the product more successful.
Right.
There are second products which basically you are starting from scratch, that you are creating. It's like your baby, right? So there are two different aspects. First, for the first products, you are trying to see whether the product does it satisfy the current and future users' requirements, and then you are trying to modify it so that it satisfies those needs and can also generate revenue. And for the new products, the role is much more broader, because then you are doing a market study, you are trying to see product market fit and whether is there a demand for the market or product at all. So you are continuously evaluating that. Once you establish the scope of the product, then you create a plan that, what happens, many people think that product managers take a decision that which product to build and how to build it, who will build it. It doesn't happen that way. In a big company, so there are senior management, there are product leaders. First, they have to get convinced. Only then it will be rolled out. Otherwise, it will not get rolled out. Right. So our job is to help people make decisions. When I say decision, it's more informed, data-driven decisions. We help in that. And it's rarely that product managers do take a call that what to do and what not to do. That things doesn't happen in real life that ways. You might be listening about that in podcast or in maybe articles, but it is very unlikely that a product manager will decide what to build and what not to build.
Right. Definitely, so stakeholders are the one who takes care of everything.
And managing stakeholders is a very big part of product management. Because, I follow that there are a few processes through which you build the product. Right. One is that you have the vision, right? Then, once you set up the vision, then how do you include everyone? So, inclusion is a very big part of product management today. Because you need to have the buy-ins from senior manager, your manager, like the senior product management team. Then you also need to have buy-ins from your different departments, like say technology, design, sales, because if the product has to be monetized, then it has to get the buy-in of your sales team or revenue team. Otherwise, you can't build that product, because see, mostly every product that we build has to have a sponsor or multiple sponsors who has the belief that this product will be able to generate revenue successfully for us in foreseeable future's time. Unless we have that conviction, we will not be able to build a product.
Right, sir. So, like, sir, as you mentioned about these differentiations, so it's very possible that there are different types of product managers as well. So, would you like to little elaborate about that also?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm glad that you asked this question, because when I started in product management in 2000, late 2008, 2009, that time we didn't have classification of product managers, right? So it was full stack product managers only, what we call today's language full stack, because that person does all the roles, like be it from growth, monetization, or say UX or everything. Gradually what happened, I mean, it was generally a very generalistic role. It used to be a general manager kind of role in the company, where we have to collaborate with growth, technology, design, and all the other departments that you work with. Gradually what happened, we started to have specializations. And when you have specializations, you used to have specialized role like growth product manager, who does only specialize in growth. Their expertise is to bring the growth happening. Then we have UX product managers who are good at design aspect of product management. Then there are sales product managers, then there are AI product managers, then there are technical product managers, product marketing managers. So there are different specializations within the branch of product management. If you ask me, I still believe that product management has to have a T-shaped skill. Maybe you have heard of I-shaped skill, T-skills. Have you heard of this? Okay. So there are, I mean, I'm just taking a step back. So there are multiple levels of or shape of skills. One is that T skill, right, where you have one deep expertise in one area, and there are certain other areas where you have some expertise. Then there is a I skill, that you know only one skill and you know it really good. Then there are V skills, that you have one specialist area, but you have other areas with varying degree of understanding. So in my understanding, PM has to have a T skill role, whether they can be a specialization in maybe UX, growth, revenue, marketing, but they need to have a fair understanding of other areas as well. Because see, product is a very holistic function. If you just think about one function, I think that some way defeats the purpose of product management, because the product is trying to balance between different functions and try to create a product which is optimized in the sense that it can satisfy users' need and also can generate revenue. Unless both things are happening, keeping the experience good, it's not fulfilling the purpose of product management.
Like what my understanding was, that as you said, that it even includes UI, UX, and then related to AI also. Then we come over the marketing part as well. So I mean, this is a kind of a STEM culture. So again, my question comes over here is it that product management is restricted to only the tech background people, or even the non-techies can also have a good scope in it?
Excellent question. I would say, I mean, what I've seen, initially people used to have only science background or tech background people coming to product management. But over the time, what happened, that we realized that people who are coming only from tech, they have certain expertise, but they also lack certain skill sets. Like someone coming from, I mean, you must be surprised to know that Steve Jobs, he had taken a class on calligraphy, that how to basically on the art of writing, right? And on the basis of which, when he developed the Apple products, the fonts were specialized, because he has a background in that over the font and other associated things. Now, if you have only tech or science background, probably you will miss out on certain functions on UX, user psychology, right? How users buy what they buy, or how they navigate the site, because those are not part of science or tech as such. It's a cross function or overlapping of technology, psychology, everything put together, economics, right? So when you bring, I mean, in my understanding, an ideal product team will have functions, or we have team members from different background. Yeah. And also they should represent various demographies, right? Gender, age, right? And then different income groups. Because see, the product that we're willing to create is going for diverse audience.
Right.
Now, if we don't have that representation in the product team or in the other teams, then how can we build a product? Because we are trying to create a solution to a problem, and to understand the problem, you have to be of that particular set. Even if you don't represent that set, you should be having an understanding of the user cohort. So that's why, in my understanding, people are now okay with people coming from different backgrounds into product management. And even in our team in Indian Express, we have people from various backgrounds. We have people who are coming to product after 15 years of experience. People who have started their journey as a product manager. People who they have started from in podcast and then moved to product managers. We also have used to have a podcast product manager. Now he has moved to full-time product management.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are people. Yeah.
That's an indication.
Yeah, you can take it. And we also people who have come from project management, they have moved into product, and people who have moved out of product and moved into project management.
Okay.
So it's a continuous journey, right? No one can say that this is the role I want to join and I'll be working here for 20 years. It doesn't happen, because maybe today you are thinking you want to go to profile X, but over the time, after 5 years, you might think that I want to go to profile Y.
Definitely.
So and what I've seen, that whatever learned in any different profiles, that add up. Even if you're going from product to sales or from sales to product, your previous knowledge always work as a benefit to you in long term.
Becomes a base, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, sir. It was so informational. And talking about AI a bit now, so AI is so prevalent these days. So do you feel that AI is something that's going to take over this, or might be this field will remain untouched?
Okay. So, what do you mean by takeover?
Takeover as in completely, like humans are not required.
Okay, for product management you're
For
saying.
product management.
Okay. Very unlikely. Because maybe you're I mean, even I'm young enough for that, but when the computers first came, people, and there was strike, nationwide strike, right, in different places, that computers will take our jobs.
Right, sir.
But that didn't happen. It created more jobs.
Right, sir.
Correct. And maybe long time back, I mean maybe centuries back, or I don't know, decades back, when the calculator was invented, many accountants thought that calculators would take their job.
Right, sir.
Correct. But that didn't happen.
Right, sir.
So what happens? AI is an enabler. It's not going to take away a job. So you have to use AI to keep track of the market, and it can increase your productivity dramatically. That I can say, because I am also starting to use AI, not a power user of AI. So AI can do a lot of things for you, but you can think of it as a personal assistant.
Right, sir.
And for a product manager, for a sales guy, for a technical guy, or from even a CXO person, right? It will help you to probably offload many of your menial jobs or mundane jobs to AI, so that you can focus on more probably value-adding jobs.
Right.
So when you think of AI, I would say, and that this is not what I am saying, that many people are saying that probably AI will not replace you, but another product manager who knows AI, they may replace you, unless you get equipped with that.
It's kind of a game that, like, AI is something we are, even product managers are using it as of now. In some or the other way, using softwares and all, AI is like intrinsic and it's a part of it. But then not as a whole. AI will not take over it as a whole. That's
See, AI is I would say it's an innovation, right?
Right, sir.
And then you should use this. Because see, if you use this and then understand, oh, it's not helping me, then it's okay.
Yes.
But without using it, you can discard it. Or you can say that, okay, now the role of product is over, AI will take over it. It doesn't happen that way, because see, there are business decisions to be made.
Right.
So, but yeah, any task that can be automated is at the risk of being replaced by AI.
Yeah.
That is for sure. But AI on its own cannot replace anyone unless someone is using it intelligently.
Right.
So what I'm seeing is that product managers will now have really more bandwidth to focus on the areas that they should focus on. Because suppose I want to create a PRD, or product requirement document.
Right.
So I can get the first draft very easily using AI. But then few questions are there. Are you giving the right prompts? Are you trying to create the scenario for AI to understand what are your priorities?
Right.
Because if I say that just create a framework for an e-commerce site, for example, right? Or create a PRD for how to build an e-commerce site. It will be giving a result. But if your target audience is, say, women, only fashion wear, or it's more specialized, 60 plus women of their fashion wear, are you giving this right input to the AI to understand what are your right areas and how you are using that collective intelligence that has been built over decades, right? That AI is kind of representing.
All right, so got it. Like, so it cannot completely replace it.
No, it's not. It will not replace it. But again, it will weed out a lot of product managers who are not using it. Because see, what happens? There's one more factor. Currently, AI is or even till last year, AI was a fad. That we are using AI. Everyone is using AI. Be it food tech, be it health tech, be it X tech, Y tech, Z tech. And lot of the usage of AI was just to create a buzz in the market. There was not actual usage of AI. But now industry is looking into from an ROI perspective, that are we getting more by using less? If AI can answer that, then why not? Obviously we should adopt it. But if AI is just a buzz, right? And then you might have remembered that few years back there was a buzzword, cloud computing. Before that, big data, then machine learning. So these phases come and people try to rebrand their offerings as AI enabled or big data enabled or cloud enabled, right? But those are like stages of innovation, and then those technical shifts keep on happening. But the core branch of product or say marketing, they don't vanish. On a similar note, I'm in digital marketing for last 16-17 years. I go to say different colleges for giving guest lectures. Now say that we don't want to learn marketing, we will just learn digital marketing. See, it's a part of marketing, right? Basic fundamentals, theories of marketing are still valid. In the same way, if you see digital is a branch or channel for using marketing, AI is also a mechanism for using your product knowledge more efficiently to build better products or more monetizable products.
Right, sir. It was insightful, sir. So, like shifting the gears a bit, what are the skills that a product aspirant should possess to be in this industry?
See, at a junior level, your technical skill also matter a lot because when someone is taking an interview, they will try to understand whether you know about technical stuff. Not necessarily you come from tech background, but you should know certain things. Like if you don't know about computer, if you don't know about user, how they are, because it's essentially, although product management started in late 1930s or early 1930s, but it has been popularized by probably online ventures, right? Since probably late 2000 or mid 2000, that part. So even now we associated that product managers should be able to understand tech and they should be able to talk tech because they have to, on a daily basis, they have to interact with technical team and design team and other teams. So that basic knowledge is understandable. Second is that how equipped are you to solve a problem? First, identify a problem and then solve a problem. Because when you are starting at a very junior level, it's very likely that you will be given a task that just do this. Your job is to do this because of this. As you grow in your career, you should be able to answer that what problems are to be solved. Because initially you will be given that कि आपको यही करना है. After some time, you will be asked to say that you tell me what to do based on data, based on users' behavior on your website or property that you have. So that's a big shift, and people often get confused that they can't understand the shift of the role. From being told to what to do, they have to now think what to do. That's a big shift, and in the process, extremely good in product management, people management is an essential part of product management because you are always talking to stakeholders like your senior management, sometimes users, then other departments, right? And even your team members, senior and junior both included. To convince all of them and to keep all of them in the same page is not an easy task. So I would say that someone having a good people management skill and who are analytical in nature, they have an edge over others. And these skills are totally learnable skills. This is not something that you are born with. This can be cultivated.
This comes over,
Yes.
I would say, over age, experience?
Experience, not age.
Experience, right,
Yeah.
sir? Okay, so like as you mentioned about the tech part, so I would like to ask that are there any specific softwares that as a recruiter you might look like Confluence, Jira are being used by the product managers?
We normally use those softwares like that you mentioned. I'll not be mentioning any specific software, but there are marketing automations tools, like there are project management tools like you mentioned, right? So those are not very difficult to learn. A week's time you can understand the basic. So see, those are like the ways to execute. The product management, the question you actually started with, that the product management encompasses strategy, then planning, because planning comes from strategy, what you want to achieve. Then planning is how you want to achieve it, and then the execution, and then basically the retrospective part, that whether it was good, bad, or what you need to improve. And then it's a constant feedback loop. It's not a one-time job that my job is done now. Not like that, right? So you create a plan that I will be creating a website for, say, certain audience. Then you see how to do this. That is the strategy, planning part. And then in the process you collaborate with everyone, every department, your seniors, juniors, and it's advisable that you also talk to your customers or potential customers, because before you do a full-fledged development, it's good to have a dipstick that what market wants. Is my product fulfilling their requirements? Rather than doing this study after creating the product, probably you can save a lot of time and effort and cost by just doing a study before the product launch or before the product constitution part.
Right, sir. So true. So, like, just a question before, as you mentioned that it's not easy to be handling and managing teams. So, any tips on that? Like, how do you do it as a product manager?
So normally, if you maybe have seen the famous product management triangle, it's user, business, right, and technology. So it's users who are needs you are fulfilling. It's business that you're bringing money for the business, and technology is the enabler. That how do you match these two? By you are creating a product by using technology, right? That technology can be digital, can be physical, or a mix of both. So even a mobile phone is a technology that way, right? It's a physical product which can be used for digital needs as well. So from that angle, now so every product has defined. Maybe you have heard about product life cycle, right? PLC, that introduction, growth, maturity, and decline, right? So different products in different stages of their life cycle. If I'm a growth stage, then my focus will be first getting the users. And if I'm at declining stage, then probably either I'm thinking that probably it has another 5 years of life or 10 years of life, or I'll do something to extend its life cycle, right? Sustaining it. I'll need to do certain adjustment or modification of the product. So based on the stage of your product, your priority changes. Initially, it's more user, because that's how you're also trying to test your hypothesis, that is there demand for my product. And then after some time, you'll definitely think about monetization. So as the product's life cycle changes, its stage changes, the priorities also change. For certain product, maybe monetization is the highest priority. See, I'll give an example. A product which is totally bootstrapped, it doesn't have any VC funded money, but it's generating enough cash flow. For that, it's probably trying to increase the user more than their revenue, because the revenue part is already sorted. For another product which has huge number of user base, like a lot of our VC funded ventures or products, they might have 100x the number of users, but they may still be burning money. For them, the highest priority is monetization, right? Because see, essentially everyone wants to run a profitable venture, and that's what you are taught in the base school, right? That how to create anything that is profitable in nature, because that is the core. Right now, what's happening when there is easy money in the market, people are easily getting VC funded money, and they are creating products not for running profitability. They are creating a product to sell it to someone else at a higher cost, and they keep the margin, right? So that's a different way of looking at product management or looking at business. That I'm not creating that is a valuable. I'll just dump my loss to another person and I'll take the cut in profit, right? So that's probably not a sustainable nature. In my understanding, if we talk about product sustainability, then the three triangles, that user, business and technology, it has to both have to have today and tomorrow's angle. That are we fulfilling the needs of the users, today's and tomorrow's users? Can we generate revenue today and tomorrow? And do we have the right technology to build the system or product for today and tomorrow? If you answer these three questions and the answer is affirmative for all the three questions, then you have a solid product.
Right. Got it, sir. So, like as you mentioned, that amongst the PNC, there is like amongst the product life cycle, there is a high requirement of managing and prioritizing the tasks. So I would like to relate with this and ask you about sprint planning and backlog management. So can you explain both of these terms a bit more? Like what I have inferred out of this is that sprint planning is more about prioritizing the tasks in a stipulated time. So
many years ago, when software companies in India become popular, they used to follow an approach called waterfall. That you first do design, then you do development, then you do testing, and then release the product. Now, what is to happen that it would take at least 12 to 18 months for the entire phase to go out, and by the time the user's requirement would change. So they will again go back to the design phase. Then the alternative theory came, it's via iteration, it's an agile approach, that you do all of them together. You build a product, small, maybe a minimal effort, and over the time you build a minimum viable product. Maybe you have heard of MVP, that is minimum viable product. That you have a scope of 100, but you are creating a product that's just 20 or 30. You are just checking the market, that if the product has any taker or not. So by building that, you create product in iterations. So this is a more, I would say, phase by phase approach. And in agile, what happens, waterfalls, the next approach is more agile approach. Here, so there are many frameworks for agile. One of them is Scrum or Sprint, as you've said. So in our company also, we have, say, mostly 2 weeks sprint tenure. So maybe I have 50 tasks, and I am planning to achieve 10 tasks in one sprint. That is 2 weeks in duration.
Right, sir.
And then I have a goal for the sprint that I am doing this 10 tasks to improve monetization, or I am doing this 10 tasks to basically improve the experience of the users. So that way, I'm having different tasks for my users and for my revenue side. Now, how to prioritize that? So as I said, that based on your products needs, you prioritize certain tasks, and for 80% of the tasks we are budgeting the task. What is planned. There can be emergency, right? Say some sales team has come up with certain tasks which needs to be rolled out immediately. So mostly we keep 20% buffer time, so that those important and urgent tasks can be accommodated in that 20% buffer space. That's how we build sprint, and it's more of a iterative approach of building product rather than a full 100% approach.
Got it.
Could I answer it?
Yes, sir. It's absolutely clear, sir. Okay. So, just asking the last question and linking it with the very first thing that I said, that the freshers find this domain to be very lucrative. So, would you like to, if you don't mind, what are the salary packages for the beginners?
See, the salary depends on your background, your academic and professional background. So if you say beginners, then I would say it can range from, say, in different industries it will vary. Right. Again, the companies, what happens, the pay structure of different companies and industries are different.
Right, sir.
The industries which are profitable in nature, right, and it's a very, I would say, it has been there for decades and it's a very stable kind of growth path, then it will have a very specific salary background or salary range. However, for skills which are very new in the market, are very niche in the market, like AI you are saying, for that you can charge a premium if you know that skill. Right. So if someone has AI skill in product management, they might get 2x that of other product managers. So I will not be giving a range, but I am saying that normally product management salary starts with say 5 lakhs to anywhere between 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs based on your experience. But if you do from certain premium institutes or certain different skill set you have, then there is no limit actually.
All right, sir. Got it, sir. Sir, any personal takeaways that you would like to extend?
So I can comment on certain trends that is happening right now in product management, right? So for last 2-3 years, what I'm seeing that the AI and all are in the buzzword, right? And everyone is trying to put certain keywords in the resume so that okay, मैं भी AI करता हूँ, है ना, like that. But thing is that okay, companies are also getting serious about the ROI of those new initiatives,
Right.
because I mean you must have seen that globally the sentiment is not that great right at this moment. So companies who are willing to spend money on certain things or experimental things, they are now reconsidering their decisions that do we really need to do this,
Right.
or do we really need to do this year, right? They're deferring certain investments. So their experimentation will come down, and in the short term at least, the product managers will have to come up with more ROI specific outcomes. So there are three things: input, output, and outcome. Input is the effort you are giving, output is the what's happening because of that, and outcome is that whether company's goals are being made. Like you are running a social media campaign, you are getting 100 users, that's the output. How much revenue or how much additional revenue you are getting from that 100 users is an outcome, right? Or how much profit you make from those 100 users is an outcome. So initially we are very happy. I mean, I'll show you, I mean, tell you about the evolution of at least news industry where I'm part of for last 10-11 years. Previously we used to get happy by just looking at the page views. Okay, we have got certain million page views and we are very happy. After that it happened that are we having those page views monetizable? That are there ad spots within the pages? Can they be monetized? And now we are talking about the revenue coming from that pages, because that's also an evolution we are having as a product manager. Because see, the closer you are to revenue, the better your value is in the market.
It's true, sir. Time changes and things change.
Yeah, and so in the same way, you are seeing that you will be having a lot of product managers who will be taking multiple roles. Because the first question that you asked, that what are the skill sets and what are the different types of product managers. So there are two concepts. One is that full stack product managers who do everything, and they are basically fractional product managers who do certain part of product management, only tech part, only design part. But what I'm seeing that probably companies will reduce their hiring and people will get to have more meaningful work. So and as you become more holistic in nature, probably you'll have to wear multiple hats. Just wearing one hat may not be sufficient enough in at least immediate future. So that's my understanding of product management.
Got it, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And I may that all the insights that you have given today would definitely impact a larger audience. So thank you for being there with us.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for tuning in. Till then, Bio brings you the next time.